Hey rates, today we're doing rates, exercise 6E. So before we get into the notes, I want to talk about what a rate is. In real life, so a rate has two different quantities. So unlike ratios have the same quantity. So it might have 5 centimetres to 30 centimetres, they must be the same units. But a rate has two quantities but different units. So for instance, most common one is speed. When you're driving a car, 60 kilometres per hour. 60, so kilometres, and then per hour, kilometres and hours. You might be walking and it might say 2 metres per second, that's another rate. Or if you empty a bath out, it might empty with 15 litres per minute, so that's another rate. So have a look at the notes here everyone, actually copy them down, and then I will talk in a minute. Alrighty, good job. Okay, so as I said, a rate compares two quantities measured in different units. They must be different units. So I've got a couple of examples that I've already talked about. We can simplify rates down to so here it's 60 kilometres per 1 hour. So it's like the unitary method, 5 litres per 1 minute. So that's what I mean by simplifying. So here's some examples. Petrol is $1.25 per litre. So the first quantity is in dollars, and the next one is litres. So there's two different units there. Steak, when you buy meat, it's $32 per kilogram, so dollars per kilogram. Water fills a bath, 6 litres per minute, or if you run 3 litres per second. So they're all examples of rates. Alright, rates must have units for each quantity, and let's simplify rates. So I've got an example already done here. If you were in a part-time job, $45 in 3 hours of work. So what we want to do to simplify it, you want it to get down to 1 hour per hour. So of course you divide both of these by 3, so it works out nicely. It's $15 in 1 hour, or $15 per hour. So that's a simplified rate. The one down here, we can work out an average rate. So if you're reading a book, and just say generally, you could read a 600-page book in 4 hours. They might say, on average, how long does it take, or how many pages could you read per hour? So you just need to get this 4 hours to 1 hour. So you divide it by 4, divide that by 4, and you get 150 pages per hour. And that's on average. Of course, each hour is not going to be exactly that, but given 600 pages in 4 hours, that's an average. So that's all you have to do. Let's go up here and have a look at some examples. So, simplify. You go on a camp and there's 75 students and you need 3 teachers. How many students per teacher? That would be a simplified rate. So we can see there we've got to get 3 teachers to 1 teacher. So we divide both of these by 3. 75 divided by 3 is 25. So 25 students and then divide that by 3 and you get for 1 teacher. And another way to write that is 25 students per teacher. So it's actually an over. So this is on the top line and that's on the bottom line. Next one. If it costs you $32 for 8 kilograms of rice, how much does it cost for 1 kilogram of rice? So what you need to do is divide both of them by 8. So 4 8s are 32. So that's $4 for 1 kilogram of rice. So that's a simplified rate. $4 for 1 kilogram, or another way to write it is $4 per kilogram. Excellent. Now let's do a complicated worded problem. So let's read the question carefully. So Tim was 120 centimetres at 10 years old. By the time he's 20 years old, so that's 10 years later, he's now 185 centimetres. So he's grown, obviously he's grown 65 centimetres in those 10 years. It says here, find the average rate of growth between his ages of 10 and 20 years. So of course every year he's not going to grow exactly the same amount every year, but it's an average. So average over the 10 years. So what we need to do is find out how much did he grow. So I've just worked that out. 185 minus 120, he grew 65 centimetres in 20 years until 10, so minus 10 is 10 years. So he's grown 65 centimetres is the difference between those in 10 years, which is the difference between those his two ages. Okay, so now we can find the average. We need to make this per 1 year. So we divide both of them by 10. So divide that by 10 and you get 6.5 centimetres in 1 year. It's pretty simple stuff really. So, and another way to write that is 6.5 centimetres per year. So again, on average, he grew 6.5 centimetres each year for the 10 years. So we don't know exactly how many, like in the first year you might have grown 10 centimetres and next year you might have grown only 3. So it's an average. And that's all you have to do for this lesson. You've got your work over there, exercise 6E. And then we've got one more to go, F, next lesson. And then you've got revision and a test. So I'll see you soon.